Tyler Van Dyke's tenure down at Miami did not go according to plan. I think we all can agree that after a breakout 2021 season, we expected to see growth and more potential, and even the fact that maybe Miami would be brought back to a national perspective. And while that didn't go the way he saw fit, it doesn't mean it can't be a reason why we're talking more prominently about Wisconsin in year two of the Luke Fickell era. Let's talk about Van Dyke committing to the Badgers for 2024. If you are new here, welcome on into the channel. My name is Cole Thompson. I'm a radio show host based in Houston, and I talk college football daily. So if this is the type of content you enjoy, plus coaching searches, bowl game status, the national championship, and a bunch of other nonsense, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. Leave a comment telling me your thoughts on Van Dyke's trip up to Madison for 2024. Tell your friends, your family, your mortal enemies, your best of bros, the drunk dude passed out in a Waffle House parking lot, Badger fans and college football aficionados everywhere about this channel, because we're on the race to 1,000, then 5,000, then 20,000, then 100,000, and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get there. So let's jump on in while the water's fine. Go ahead and give me a follow on social media at Mr. Cole Thompson. That way, the college football conversation never has to stop flowing. So Tyler Van Dyke, in my opinion, is a lot like black licorice. Stay with me for a second. Black licorice is an enjoyable treat to the few, the proud, the brave, the bold, and those who don't enjoy having their taste buds filled with euphoric praise. But they make the most of a situation, and they seem to enjoy it. So who am I to say that don't enjoy your treat? But the same thing goes for Tyler Van Dyke. He will not fit every single offensive system in college football. He will not be the right quarterback for every team in the league. He will not be a name that is going to give you prominence if you don't run a style and a brand that caters towards his positives. And you do have to realize that part of the problem this past year was his turnover ratio. Guy threw 12 interceptions, 19 touchdowns, but he also completed 65.7% of his throws. He did show you the ability to extend plays deep downfield. Go back and watch week 2's game against Texas A&M and tell me otherwise. And he was able to lead the team at least partially to better results and back-to-bowl eligibility. So not everything is lost in translation here. The reason why this is such a good fit for Van Dyke is because you realize that the offense that really made him a household name is similar to the one that's going to be run by Phil Longo up in Madison. Do me a favor. Look back. Tyler Van Dyke in 2021 was pinpoint accurate. He was a stud. He was everything needed for this university. He threw for over 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, passer rating of 160.1. He also ran in a score. He was looking fine. And it was because Rhett Lashley was the offensive coordinator. Phil Longo and Rhett Lashley don't run the exact same offense, but they are cut from the air raid brand. So what worked for him in 2021 should work for him in 2024. And naturally, many people thought that maybe he would reunite with Rhett Lashley now that SMU is headed to the ACC. They feel content with their quarterback situation, especially with Preston Stone taking over. They just won the AAC, so they're going out with a bang. And I look at this team, and I say to myself, well, if you can't get that style of offense, what you can do is go to one that at least caters towards your strength. Phil Longo was able to get the best version of play out of not only Drake May, but also Sam Howell. Go back and watch that North Carolina team in 2020. Hyper attentive when it came to running the football, but more than capable of passing. They're not an air raid that's going to be all go, 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 throw, 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 but they are a team that is going to benefit on having a quarterback that is very accurate and extends plays down the field. Hit the intermediate, not make a lot of mistakes. That's the one area where you're going to have to see improvements from Van Dyke. And who's to say that you have to start him right away or say that he has to be the long-term starter? This is not a situation where you have to go into year 2 underneath Luke Fickell and not trust Nick Evers or whoever else potentially you want to bring in. You can turn to whatever quarterback you see fit. But sometimes going back to the basics and going to what works for you is the best thing for you at the end of the day. And that's why this is a really nice fit for Tyler Van Dyke, because he understands the style of offense. He understands the up-tempo. He's not afraid to sling it. And more importantly, he gets the concept of what works and what doesn't. It's what made him a star back in 2021. If Bill Longo can get that version of Van Dyke back, build up his confidence, which is a key element for any quarterback, everything else should kind of fall into place. Wide receivers are already there, talented enough to carry the load. You know you're going to be very aggressive in adding in more running backs now that Braylon Allen is headed to the NFL. And the offensive line is fundamentally sound. And we know the defense is always going to be a positive underneath Luke Fickell. The man was able to take Cincinnati and turn them into a powerhouse that went to the college football playoff. It's a good fit. And fit is really key for players like Van Dyke. You don't want them going to an offense where they have to relearn the playbook and have to start fresh, even though he's pretty damn good at that. Don't go ahead and use this as an excuse because no one ever should. But never forget that Tyler Van Dyke will be on his fourth offensive coordinator in 4 different years. It's hard to learn a system when the system's always changing. So you go back to the system to where you worked best and just build off of that. That's the key here when it comes to Van Dyke. I think it's a good fit. I think Wisconsin needs to have a veteran quarterback now that Tanner Mordecai is out of eligibility. Congratulations on a 21-year career in college. But now it turns to a new chapter in the Big Ten. You're trying to be competitive alongside the teams like Nebraska and Illinois, and I would say Michigan State. And you probably want to go ahead and surpass them and get back to Tier 2 status, right alongside of Penn State. Not at the same level as where you were with Ohio State and with Michigan, but right along that same level of, say, Oregon, say, Penn State, Washington, USC. Those teams that are good enough to get to 10-2 and probably good enough to be in a 12-team playoff. If you get the version of Van Dyke that strutted his stuff down at Coral Gables in 2021, 9 wins is very plausible. 10 wins is very plausible. And 10 wins might be enough to punch your ticket in a 12-team playoff. Overall, solid fit on both sides. No one's saying you have to hold your wagon and hitch it towards Tyler Van Dyke for a 12-game season. But if he pans out, you got a quarterback that can do everything needed to carry you and build off of a promising year one underneath Luke Fickell. It's only the start for Van Dyke. 1 more year of eligibility, 1 more chance to show NFL scouts I can make it at the next level. You go to a system that caters towards your strengths. Usually 10 times out of 10, it bodes well in your favor. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.